Hello everybody, welcome back to Aurora 4X. We are continuing our EarthCorp campaign, and we are ready to return to the Aeolian system. So before we do that, let me just show you what we have available. First of all, we have Uvina Station here, which consists of 2 Duros class maintenance bases. Each one of these can handle maintenance for 200,000 ships. And we actually have 200,000 ton fleets here, each of which consists of 3 export class strike cruisers, 1 outreach jump cruiser, 6 leverage class missile destroyers, and 12 resolute class escort frigates. And we're going to go peek into the neighboring system. So before we do that, let's make sure that we'll go with Uvina Fleet 1. Let's make sure that all the fire controls have been assigned. They should be. Everything should be good here. And sorry, I had to step away for just a moment, but okay, so we're making sure the fire controls are all set. They should be fine. I set these earlier on. Okay, so let's take Fleet 1. Let's tell it to go to the jump gate here. Let's have it move to location, get active sensors on, and we'll actually detach the jump tender there before we move in. So let's do that. So I've got the auto turns off now because we want to do this more precisely. But C1, it only takes about 2 or 3 days to get there. Oh, we're actually not quite there. Maybe. There we go. So what we're going to do now is we are going to detach the outreach and then transit. And we are now in the Aeolian system. So let's make our way inwards towards, I guess, towards Aeolian B1, right? That was the last sign of the aliens. So let's see what we find. Aeolian B1. We're just going to move there. So incidentally, the range is another 4.23 billion kilometers, so we should be fine on fuel. You know what we... No, that should be fine. This is good enough. Okay. Let's move in. So just out of curiosity, I'm gonna go like just to get a rough idea for 1 hour increment. Yeah. Okay. 8 hour increments. Yeah, that'll give us enough granularity just to kind of see, to enjoy the view as we go in. Of course, the game is on auto subpulses, so like the game will interrupt if anything happens, like if missiles are launched or whatever. Oh, I just saw a scary message here. It was saying that there was a maintenance problem and an engine blew up, which would have been unlucky, but it's in maintenance clock 1.83 years, and I thought I'd screw up, but this is actually one of the newer leverage class missile destroyers that is still undergoing training, so that's why its maintenance clock is so high. Does not concern us immediately. So I actually, if you look at the time increments here, something did slow us down a while ago. So I think there's some interaction with the aliens, but that's like metagaming. We haven't detected anything, so I'm just going to proceed, as though nothing had happened. But I suspect the aliens have detected us and reacted in some way. All right. We got the next 5-day increment here, I believe. So that's all that's happened here, but nothing of significance militarily speaking. Incidentally, our active sensors can detect a 10,000 ton vessel at about 100 something million kilometers, so about half this green bar here, so about this distance. This distance here, so we still have to get quite close before we can hope to detect something. Now, the game is slowing down the time increments, so stuff is happening, but once again, I would have no way, we have no way of knowing that. That's just like metagaming, so we're not gonna metagame. I'm gonna slow down to 3-hour increments just because we're getting closer to the planet of interest. All right, let's zoom in a little bit here. I'm going in 1-hour increments. My active sensors are on. Yes, okay, good. Interesting. So the aliens that blew us up around Asolian B1 it was obviously not a colony because there's just a wreck there and we haven't picked up anything on sensors. So let's head to the inner solar system here to we'll go to Asolian A1, or I guess A3. Go inside here. All right, so time has slowed down here. So I suspect we will encounter aliens somewhere here. Now, the distance to the target here is 139 million kilometers, so I think we're going to pick something up on sensors pretty soon. Now, I said that last time and nothing happened. So I really don't know what's going on in the system. Well, I mean, I have suspicions as a player, but I don't think the EarthCorp has any clue what's going on here. Okay, no sign of anything on that planet. Let's check the other planets. Let's go to A1 and then A2. Oh. Interesting. Okay, so they're on A2. So here is what I just saw. New alien class, new alien ships, new alien contacts. Now, a few things are interesting here. First of all, the alien contacts are, well, we're neutral to them because we never clicked on hostile. But honestly, we should be hostile to them because they, like, so in other words, we could, if we were pacifists, we might be attempting to do diplomacy at all costs. But we didn't send a diplomatic ship here. We sent a fleet with missiles. So I just hadn't clicked this, but I think realistically, our our attitude towards them is going to be hostile. After all, they shot us first without asking questions. Now, to be fair, we were geosurveying, the equivalent of Mars, right? So maybe we were a little rude. Now, let's take a look at some intelligence here. So, and apparently all their ships are named after Russian destroyers. So we have the Besisti. We have 9 current contacts for this ship, but this is a 60,000 ton ship, so this is unlikely to be a military ship. Then we have a Chebanenko. This ship masses 15,000 tons, so it could definitely be a military class ship, and there are 8 of those. So let's keep a running tally of the tonnage so far. 8 times 15 is 120,000 tons of suspected military ships. Then we've got, and all of these are current contacts. So then we've got another like 25,000 or 26,000 ton ship, probably military. So we're up to 120, 146. Then we have 2 Kucherovs, and they're 15,000 tons each. That's another 30. So we were at 146. Now we're already at 176. We've got 2 Levchenkos, again at 15. So at 15,000 tons each. So that's another 30,000 tons. So we were at 176. We're already at 206,000 tons. Then there's 1 Panteleev, another 15, and then 3 Spiridonovs at 22. So we are basically outmassed by 50%. So there's about 60, 70. He's got about, or these aliens have about 280,000 tons of military hardware that we have just made contact with. So that's a thing. Now, I think it's worth probing and seeing if we can't take a pot shot at these and kind of keep our distance and run away. So what we're going to do here is we are going to remove all of these orders. We're going to go to contacts. And we don't know what any of these ships do. But my thinking is let's target and eliminate. I mean, we will obviously have to adapt our strategy as we learn about these ship classes. But I'm thinking let's target and eliminate a ship that is unique and has, low numbers. So we're going to go for the Panteleev, and we'll see if that is a smart choice. And we're also going to see how they react to us. So let's follow at 24 million kilometers. Let's set that as our order. And let's go forward in time 20 minutes, and let's just see what happens. Okay, no immediate reaction. We're at 81 million, and we're at 82 million kilometers, and our missiles are 25 million kilometers. So let's close the gap a little bit. See what happens here. Still no reaction from them. Now, of course, they're going to see us coming. There's no way they're that blind. Okay, so now that we're getting closer, we have identified 3 additional ship, the Tributs. So it's even more tonnage because it's a smaller resolution. That's why we couldn't see it from further away. So yet more tonnage that we weren't previously aware of, and yet another set of 6 ships. So we've recently discovered the Tributes, then the Vinogradov, the Zakharovs, and the Ushakovs. So they're really outmassing us right now. All right, so far we haven't detected any new vessels. I'm going to slow down our approach because we're at 35, 34 million kilometers. 30 million kilometers. Okay, so time has slowed down to 15-second increments. This tells me that they have fired missiles at us. Now, there's an additional major problem that we have now discovered is that they are faster than us. So we are committed to this. Their ships are faster than ours, not by a lot, but it's enough. Now, they've decided to engage with a certain part of their fleet. I'm going to go forward in time another 5 minutes, continuing to close the distance here. Because I want to see if it appears to be only their smaller ships that are reacting, that are moving. And that's very curious. Are they moving away or towards? They appear not really to have moved much. All right, let's keep closing the gap here. It appears a number of their ships are possibly trying to outrange us. The Panteliev, since it's moving at 1 kilometer per second, I can only assume this is a station. Incidentally, this large yellow circle is my missile range envelope, so we're still quite a distance away. All right, just so you see here, this is metagaming, so I wouldn't know that they have shot missiles in game, except for the fact that the time slowed down for the player. So we have no knowledge of what their missile range in reality actually is, although it appears to be roughly 50 million kilometers. Okay. Oh, did I not have? Okay, guys. Lessons are learned. We did not have our PD on because we're idiots. So, but this PD, yeah, all of these, huh? They were on final defensive fire. Oh no, you know what happened? The time increment didn't slow down enough. We just didn't see the missiles. But the missiles aren't going so fast. That is odd. So we ran into those missiles. But we should be... okay, see, that is weird. Well, okay, so I should be incrementing time only in 5-second increments. I think my last campaign I did the same mistake, which is stupid. I just lost a strike cruiser just from misplaying here. But everything is on. Like, you don't have to turn on PD. Like, it should fire on its own. And I'm going to test that for real here. See, because this isn't going so fast that it would traverse the entire range of my PD in one time increment, or the entire scanner range in one time increment. So I should have seen it, but because I was going in 5-minute increments, it didn't auto adjust fast enough, which seems a bit like a bug. I really don't feel it's fair that I lost that cruiser, but we'll keep going. All right, so this time we should, in fact, fire our PD at this. So the salvos, they're shooting salvos of 60 missiles. And let's see how well our PD handles this. Let me bring up the event log here. So the answer appears to be like it could have been worse, but it could definitely be better, because of their missiles. See, it appears that our PD has a roughly 40%, 45% chance to hit their missile salvos. And just in terms of number of guns that we're bringing to bear, a number of missile hits are getting through. So 22 nuclear detonation strength 6. A lot of it hit the armor here. So let's take a look at the export one. If we look at the armor status, it got hit pretty hard. Now, fuel storage is damaged. So I guess we'll start repairs on it. Now the question, so there are more incoming salvos. So if we were the commander of this fleet, how would we react? What would be the appropriate reaction? Okay, first of all, we have gained new information here. So all these ships here are probably weapon platforms of some kind, or for whatever reason they're not pursuing with these ships. So this is the mobile fleet. So the actual fleet that is in operation here is, let's see, 60, 70, 100. It's not so bad. It's about the same mass as us. However, their missile salvos are stronger than our PD. And they are causing damage to us. So although I would love to get in range and start shooting missiles at them, at this rate, like this first salvo caused enough damage to penetrate the armor of the Escort 1. I don't think we can take a lot of hits like that, especially if they're targeting these are our most heavily armored ships. If they start shooting at our Resolutes, they're just going to pop instantly. The Leverages actually have a decent amount of armor. So I don't think it is reasonable to continue the assault at this point, right? I think the correct course of action in character here is to turn around and burn in this direction while continuing to shoot, to PD. In addition, going back this way will reduce the effective speed of the missiles, giving us a slightly higher hit chance. But the other thing we need to do is we need to send in the second fleet for reinforcements, because I suspect that with both fleets combined, we would have enough PD coverage to be immune to the missiles. So what we need to do here is issue this order. Now they won't get there in time, or I don't see them getting there in time, but we'll see. We'll see how long it takes. So let's keep going in time here. And you can see here the again, we're shooting down 30 to 40 missiles, but more than 20 missiles are striking us. And in this case, the export 3 has been struck. And it has detached because it appears to have taken damage to one of its engines. Which obviously will queue up repairs for that first. But the export 3 is in trouble because now it is going to move much slower than the rest. But I do think, I'm starting to imagine that the this Navy is was counting on the doctrine of shooting them from far away with missiles. And I don't think they're very eager to face these to face the aliens at a disadvantage, like in a brawl. Now that they thought that they were just going to shoot them from afar and everything would be okay. Now they're getting blown up, and already one of the strike cruisers just got deleted. So I think they're panicking a little bit. I think there's a bit of a rout going on. Yeah, see, geez. Okay, so magazine, yeah, they shot a leverage and the magazine exploded. Once again, we're shooting down more than half the missiles, but it's not enough. We just didn't quite bring enough PD here. If we look at the fleet, there's actually, the damage has kind of been spread. And, thank goodness we have the amount of armor that we do, because for the most part, these ships are taking the hits like champions. Here comes the next volley. All right, we lost a Resolute, and there's also a fleet here has detached, presumably because of engine failures. Oh, it's lost both of its engines, so that's no good. I'm just making sure that, to the extent, the ship is almost completely destroyed. So this is kind of irrelevant, the notion of, some damage control. All right, we lost 2 Resolutes here. Okay, that appears to be all the missiles that they shot. Although the fleet is still following us and they are faster than us, so they can close the gap with us if they want to. But that's so we'll have to see how things evolve here in the next few seconds. I'm gonna force the 5-second increments, but I'm gonna let the game go forward in like slightly longer increments. So the Resolute 3 and the Resolute 5 are stranded. Their engines are destroyed. So far we have lost 1, 2, 3, 4 Resolutes, 2 Leverages, and 1 export. One export here is slowed, and we have 2 stranded Resolutes. And they appear to still be chasing us, which is a bit curious. If we look at the Resolute 5 and 3, this one is completely blown to bits. It's not going anywhere. This one, I think the engine has to go to the top here, guys. These guys are probably screwed. But this is like a commercial navy, right? So I think this is not a navy that's full of heroics and like leave no man behind. This is definitely like run for your lives type of attitude. So everybody's just gonna run. So they're pursuing us, but perhaps they do not have the missiles. Oh no, they do have. Well, things are. Oh no, well, because I'm forcing the 5-second increments here. All right, let's let it do auto sublength. All right, the game is automatically adjusting to 5-second increments. So, in hindsight, if I had moved in with with the combined fleet, I think we would have completely deflected all this missile fire, and this operation would have been much more of a success. But there's sort of, I think, maybe a corporate mindset at play where like we don't want to risk everything. Maybe not quite, not quite having the correct priorities here. People, afraid of losing their investments in the ships themselves. What if we did that? No, it still goes to a 5-second increment. I suspect this is just because of, like, I think they're targeting, the AI must be targeting and retargeting these stranded ships. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to save right now. And I'm going to stop this recording here, this episode here. So this was our first contact. It was not a success. It was not an unmitigated disaster yet. I still have hope. I'm not sure how this is going to play out because they can catch up to me eventually. But I don't know if these ships here have those missiles that were just shot at us. If they do, perhaps they're out of ammo. I don't know what's going on here because the missiles were shot a long time ago. They should be here. Maybe they're still in flight and we're about to get wrecked again. Maybe we're not going to get wrecked again. Maybe we're going to get to shoot our missiles. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to play forward in time a little bit. And I will start the recording again when something interesting happens. So I'll catch you guys then. Take care.